Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Jeff's Baking Blog. Today I'm going to be making another tea loaf. This comes about a week after I made Bara Brith, which is a Welsh tea loaf, and I was so impressed with how that turned out and the flavour that I wanted to try a variation on it. Some people aren't that keen on candied peel, and Bara Brith has mixed dried fruits that have candied peel in. So I thought that I would make one today, but vary the fruits a little bit. So let's do the ingredients. I had 300 millilitres of warm dark tea. Put those in a bowl, and to those I added 250 grams of light brown sugar, soft brown sugar, 200 grams of sultanas, and 100 grams of raisins. That's the same as you would get in mixed dried fruit. But the variation was that I added 150 grams of dried cranberries and 50 grams of soft dried pineapple, which comes in little chunks of pineapple, and I diced those up very small. And you can see the pineapple in the bowl there. So they've been soaking in that bowl for about 3 hours. The only other ingredients is 450 grams of self-raising flour, and into the top of that I've just put 1 teaspoon of mixed spice and 1 lightly beaten egg. So what I'm going to do is just take a fork and mix the mixed spice in just a little bit. You can put more, but I actually don't think these tea loaves need too much in the way of spice. They're so full of nice juicy fruit that should be a good enough flavour in itself together with the tea. So into a bowl I'm going to pour the fruit and the sugar has nicely clung to the bottom, or some of it, but that's fine. And we'll mix that together, and into that I'm going to pour the egg, and on top of all of that I'm going to pour our flour, and then I'm just going to mix it until it's combined. So that's all of the mixture mixed in. And the next thing to do is to pick it up and put it into our lined 2-pound loaf tin. So I always grease the loaf tin before I put the lining in, and I cut the lining to roughly the right size, leaving a little bit of an overhang here and here. That helps me when I want to take it out after baking. Now I'm preheating my oven to 170 Celsius, that's 150 Celsius with a fan, or 325 Fahrenheit. And once we've got all our batter into our tin, just push it down, making sure you get right into the corners. And that's it. I'm just going to get a little offset spatula and scrape this off. Dragging that over a little bit lets you see whether you've got it roughly even, I think. That looks good. So with, well, that's not quite in the corner there. That's better. So with that loaded into the cake tin, the next thing to do is just to pop it into our preheated oven and bake it for 1.5 hours. It should then rise up nicely and be a perfect loaf cake. So I'll put this in the oven and I'll be back with you once I've taken it out. Okay, so now I'm back with you. I've taken the fruit loaf out of the oven. I actually only baked it for 80 minutes because I saw a little crack appearing, so I tested in 3 places with a skewer and it came out nice and clean, so 80 minutes was ample. So now this has actually been out of the oven for about 25 minutes because just as I took it out of the oven I was getting ready to eat my dinner. So I've eaten my dinner and washed up before doing this. So now I'm going to take it out. And just peel off the paper. As simple as that. And then I'm going to let that cool down. And when it's almost completely cool, I'll be back with you and we'll cut into it. But it feels nice and firm on the top and it's nice and soft on the bottom. I can already see the lines of the wire rack. So that means it's going to be nice and moist. So I'll be back with you to cut into it a little bit later on. So I'll be back with you to cut into it a little bit later on. Right, so now our loaf has cooled down. It's slightly warm on the top, but it's cooled down quite nicely, so I'm going to cut it. And there we have it. So let's have a taste. Very moist. It's full of fruit, as you can see, and Nice and juicy. This fruit is really nice and juicy. Well, as an experiment to be an alternative to mixed dried fruit that had candied peel in, this to me has worked very well indeed. So that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this short video, and I'll be back with you soon with another recipe. So in the meantime, if you want the recipe, there's an eye above me here that you can click on, and that takes you to the page where the recipe is on my blog. You can also, as the video comes to an end, see previous videos that I've made, and there's also a link where you can subscribe to the channel. You can also click below that link to say that you like this video if you like it. All of these things would be very nice if you've got the time to do it. Anyway, in the meantime, I'll be back with you soon, so have a nice, happy baking.